One of the most common misconceptions right now is that not only is Genshin Impact significantly better than Blue Protocol, but that Genshin Impact's success is not only going to limit, but also inhibit the success of the upcoming MMO. Now, I'm taking a few minutes here today to address the contrasting differences between the two games and to address why overall I think that Genshin Impact will have no real effect on the release of Blue Protocol. Blue Protocol is an upcoming anime MMORPG set in a large sci-fi fantasy world. The game utilizes large, segregated zones, it has an extensive character creation system, it provides players a variety of different classes with the option of swapping classes at any given time during the game, it allows for the grouping and the playing of the game with a large number of players, and it has absolutely no RNG gacha systems currently in place. Genshin Impact is a new anime adventure RPG set in a large fantasy world. The game utilizes a large, completely open world. It has no character creation or customization for your characters whatsoever. It provides players with a large number of different characters, each with their own unique aesthetic look, their own personality, their own combat style. These different characters all function more or less like their own individual classes themselves. It also allows for up to 3 other characters to join one another's world, and has very, very predatory RNG gacha systems in place. For this, I feel like it might actually be easier to first talk about what makes them similar. Both Blue Protocol and Genshin Impact are anime games first and foremost. Aesthetically, I can see how people have gotten the two of these games mixed up as often as they have. They both utilize full action combat systems requiring no enemies to be present to use your abilities and providing the option of freely aiming without any type of aim assist. They have large, beautiful worlds filled with things to see and do, and that's about as far as the two games go in terms of similarities. Their differences, though, are so large that you wouldn't even consider them remotely similar. Blue Protocol is an MMORPG. You can see 20, you can see 30 different individual players all running around outside of towns fighting monsters. You can party up with them, and you can participate in large zone boss fights together. You can see hundreds of different players gathered in towns, talking, engaging one another. Genshin Impact is an RPG with multiplayer functionality. You'll never see players outside engaging in any type of content unless you allow them into your game, and even then you'll find at max 3 other players to group up and participate in content with. Much like Blue Protocol, there are also world bosses, but not nearly on the same scale. Blue Protocol has a very large developed story that you progress through each time you level up, much like the vast majority of MMOs. This way you kind of always feel connected to the game, and there's always that sense of active progression. Genshin Impact also has a very large developed story that is gated, however, behind exhausting grinds that require you increase your adventure rank, something that requires extensive grinding, dailies, and is actually one of the main sources of criticism for the Genshin Impact game outside of the resin system. Blue Protocol allows for you to create and fully customize your character. You get to choose their appearance and highly customize them before beginning the game, with there being a plethora of different outfits present in game to allow for some very extensive originality and personality. Genshin Impact has you select from one of 2 already pre-designed characters, providing no customization options, and has absolutely nothing in the way of customization present in the actual game. Blue Protocol has a cash shop. You can, at least right at this very moment, only purchase cosmetic items. You might be able to purchase mounts or other options in the future, but presently, there is nothing available that could provide any benefits to players. Genshin Impact also has a cash shop. While it does have a lot of microtransactions, the microtransactions in question really don't necessarily affect you. Seriously, you can do absolutely everything in the game as a free player without really any difficulty whatsoever. They definitely provide some benefits though that make playing the game much more enjoyable and provide access to many more attempts at obtaining various different characters. So yes, while Blue Protocol is not a gacha game, Genshin Impact definitely is a gacha game at its core, and while Genshin Impact promotes spending thousands of dollars in their game, Blue Protocol does not, nor will it ever have any gacha mechanics present. Therefore, players will never feel really all that obligated to spend much money on the game. Blue Protocol utilizes large but segregated world zones. This means that there are areas that you can run around in, that you can quest in, that you can fight in, that you can group up with other players in, that you can explore, but there are loading screens between regions, brief loading screens, but it is not not a single seamless world. This functions much like Blade and Soul or Final Fantasy XIV or even Guild Wars 2. Genshin Impact, however, does have a very large, completely seamless open world, with the exception of the dungeons that you can enter. This means that you can freely explore pretty much everything without feeling disconnected from the area you're in. Blue Protocol as an MMO has players work towards a common endgame goal: hitting max level, crafting your gear, and then grouping up to run dungeons, participate in their competitive party versus party system, and down raid bosses, as you would expect out of an MMO. This is essentially the bread and butter of pretty much every single MMO, and I don't think you'll really find all that many that have achieved any form of success without them present. Black Desert is pretty much the only one that actually comes to mind. Genshin Impact as an adventure RPG just has you do whatever you want. There is no common endgame goal. You grind as much as you can to hit the next adventure rank. You run dailies until you can afford a role on a character, and you continue grinding, running dailies until, well, yeah, rinse and repeat. If you go online and Google around a bit, you'll notice that this limitation is the cause of the vast majority of complaints regarding the game and its player base. Honestly though, I am well aware that this does appeal to quite a few people, having the freedom to do whatever you want, but at the same time, there are equally as many people that actively require direction. And in that instance, that is where playing an MMO is better for those types of players. Direction and a goal to work towards that isn't just more characters or upgraded characters. So, Blue Protocol aims to be a completely traditional MMORPG, providing players linear direction, a clear goal, and competitive play. Genshin Impact aims to provide players with endless amounts of freedom, a world that is constantly growing and expanding, but is ultimately inhibited by a very exhausting grind. Both games, as I played both of them for quite a few hours, are very unique, very different from one another. On the surface, they might look similar, yeah, but the more you play each of them, the more you come to learn that they are about as different as an Assassin's Creed game is from World of Warcraft, with the exception of, you know, the aesthetic similarities anyway. I honestly do not think that Genshin Impact is going to have any effect on Blue Protocol whatsoever. It will not in any way limit or inhibit Blue Protocol and its growth. Blue Protocol is going to launch to the same amount of fanfare, regardless of how successful or unsuccessful or populated or unpopulated Genshin Impact is next year. Will Genshin Impact's heavy use of its predatory gacha system have an effect on Blue Protocol? No, not at all. Blue Protocol will not have any type of gacha system in place. They have never wanted to have one, and they have no plans of integrating one into the game in the future. This is for the most part a mobile feature that runs quite rampant in the mobile genre, one that I hope never makes it into mainstream MMOs or console gaming. Nevertheless, I am very excited for Blue Protocol. They confirmed that the game will have a 2021 release in Japan, with an international release coming not too long after. You should check out my dedicated Blue Protocol video for all the info on its release and what we can expect going into 2021. I'll include a link down to that in the description and the pinned comment below. But this is my opinion, my impression of the two games. What do you guys think? Are you still of the impression that they are the same game and that one will end up ultimately killing the other? Let me know down in the comments below and let's talk about it. Anyway guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.